Y'all, I don't know what the hell I just did. I just did this whole video, and I just knew I was talking up some stuff, and I looked down, and it wasn't taping, and I said, now what the hell happened? Anyway, somewhere 3 minutes in on that last video, I hit something and it stopped taping. So here we go. We're going to start this again. This is Black Ink Crew season 7, episode 9. And we start this episode. Go ahead and hit that subscribe button. But we start this episode off with Genesis and Sky. And again, they made up, and they, everything is all good and gravy with them, and that's cool. But then what we find out is baby boy, Desi, y'all know who I'm talking about, baby boy. He's gotten himself into some stuff. He couldn't get into the military because of his skin situation. We ain't going to talk about that again. And because of that, he's back home. He said he wants to go to college, but he can't get in until next year because, deadlines have passed. He has to reapply and all that good stuff. So he's got his own place and he's living with some friends. Well, he tells us about a situation where he went to the store, wanted to go do whatever. He comes home. His apartment is surrounded. The police are there. The ambulance are there. Somebody got shot. One of his friends got shot. He said his apartment was shot up, the door was shot up, and his friend was on the other side of it dead. Now, anybody who knows a little something about how this thing works, about how these things work, don't nobody accidentally shoot up nobody's house. Very, very, very seldom. It may be a case of mistaken identity where they have the wrong address, but they meant to shoot up the house. They just thought the person they were looking for was there. So in this situation, if your apartment is being shot up, either they were specifically looking for that person or they thought somebody was there, which means that in either situation, you are surrounding yourself with some people that might not be out here doing, making good decisions, because I just don't understand how your apartment got accidentally shot up. So they discuss it. Sky tells Caesar everything, and Caesar's happy because they made up and all that good stuff. Him and her and Genesis made up, and he's happy to hear it. But they get to talking about They get to talking about the son. And Caesar said, maybe he needs to move here to New York. He said, when we was out there young and we was wilding out and we was, living la vida loca, all we needed was somebody to pull us out of that environment and give us some better options. He said, and maybe we need to do that. Maybe we need to pull him out of Texas. And Scott was like, that might not be a bad idea. Let me go ahead and contact his, mom and see how she feels about it, and we'll talk about it. So then we see later on in the episode where Caesar talked to, he's talking to Dez and asked him about moving to New York, and Dez was open to it. He said, yeah, he would, look forward to moving to New York. That's something he think would be fun to do. And, excuse me, and I'm sorry, y'all. And then Caesar said, you know what, I got one better for you. How about I give you a job here at Black Ink? So, of course, Dez was like, for real? For real? Because when he was talking to Caesar, his biggest thing was, he was like, I don't want to be a bum. And it's a shame because he thought he had it figured out. He was going to go to the military and do whatever he was going to do there. He could go to school for free if he decided to do that. Travel the world, build a career, whatever he thought was going to happen. And now that's gone. And in the interim, he probably turned down colleges he had gotten into. He probably didn't tap into other opportunities that might have been available to him because he really wanted, this was the decision that he had made. And so it's sad from that point of view. But then, maybe moving to New York is not going to be, isn't a bad idea. Hold on. Whew. Isn't a bad idea. So we see that going down. Let's go back a little bit. Donna done overplayed her damn hand, and she knows it. But see, just like most people who are stubborn and put their foot in their mouth, she don't know how to come back from it and save face. You should go back to C's, apologize, and move on. Everybody done told your ass you was wrong, including your boyfriend. So who you call? You call the one person that you know is going to agree with you. We do that sometimes. We call the person that we know is going to agree with us because we know that we put ourselves in some dumb shit. So she calls Jada. Now, what is Jada supposed to say? You put your life, you put your job on the line to defend her. So what's she supposed to say? Girl, you shouldn't have done that, you dummy. Now, if she was a real friend, she would. But Jada ain't going to do that. Now, what pissed me off in this scene was Donna talking about how Caesar doesn't respect her. He never gives her any responsibility. He never gives her an opportunity to grow. She's busted her butt to show, that she's growing and doing this and doing that. Bitch. Rewind this tape back to episode 1 of this season when they were going to New Orleans. Did Caesar not put your ass in charge of 115th? Did Caesar not say you could take care of my clients while I'm out of town? And your ass can't even tattoo that great. So don't sit here and say what Caesar did and did not do for you and didn't give you an opportunity when he did. But your ass was so busy chasing behind Alex that you hopped your ass on the plane and went down to New Orleans and got fired there, by the way. Because you were so busy worried about what he was going to be doing or not doing down south. So don't say that C's never gave you an opportunity, because he did. You just blew it off. And I'm done. So we see later on that she did actually even rent out some space. And Alex was telling her, this look real expensive. Like, you done rented out some space, but this look like expensive space. And, she's doing clients and stuff, but she's got to be spending whatever she's making in that rent. Because it was a nice, big old space, too. And I'm pretty certain, for as much as the way people talk about how expensive New York is, I'm sure the cost for that area, because it wasn't like a booth. It was like a whole apartment, The cost that she was spending to rent that area out. And I don't want to... I really shouldn't go there, but Donna butt ain't bothering nobody else. It's a lot. It's a lot. Like, did she go back and have another surgery? Like, did she go back and get more put in? Because it's a lot going on. And it's a lot going on. It's a lot going on. So anyway, we also see that Melanie and Lilo, her soulmate, they are not getting along, right? They are having problems. They're not getting along. She goes to his shop. Now, he has his own shop. Now, something I never understood. She has her own shop. He has his own shop, yet you're working with Black Ink. Why aren't you working with your husband's shop, helping him build his shop up? Like, that don't even make sense to me. Well, that actually came up. He said he doesn't, he hates the shop. He said all they do is go to strip clubs and party. He said you look at their Instagram, and the only thing on their Instagram is parties and strip clubs. He said, you don't never see any tattoos. He said, she said, but they're a big brand and they're helping me out. They're helping me get exposure. He was like, how? They don't even do any work over there. He was like, there are no tattoos on the website. Like, what are you talking about? How are they giving you exposure? He said, I thought we wanted the same thing. I thought we had the same goals in mind, but that's not what it seems like now. Like, he's like, I just don't know the person that you're becoming. And she was like, what are you talking about? So he was talking, because she went over there to borrow a tattoo machine. And that's where this argument started. He was like, what happened to the last one I gave you? He was like, she said, something's wrong with it. It's not working right. He was like, it's always not working right. He was like, I'm giving you these machines over and over again, and your equipment keeps fucking up. He said, but look at you. He said, your wig is on point. Your makeup is on point. But you ain't got no tattoo machine. I said, well, you know what? He done made some good ass points. He made 2 really good points. He said, 1, what kind of work are they doing over there? Because all I ever see on their social media is them partying. And 2, where are your priorities? Your equipment ain't straight, but you look good. He said, that's not the person I fell in love with. Like, you are not who I fell in love with. So, of course, whenever couples get into them arguments and they hit that line, you're not the person that I knew, or you're not the person I fell in love with. That's like a red, like, the end is near. The end is near when people start talking like that. But anyway, so we see Alex trying to talk Donna back into, going and talking to C's. He's telling her, look, this is ridiculous. You spending a whole lot of money for a place here when you got a perfectly good place to do tattoos right there in the shop, and you wasting money. You spending money you don't need to be spending. And, it's ridiculous, but Donna goes on and she has her little client, and he puts her ass out, and Donna does a tattoo with that I'm not impressed with. I ain't impressed with it. And later on, we'll see what happens with Donna later on. Let me finish up. I think I've covered everything though. We're about to get to later on in the episode. We see when Melanie is talking to Kitty about the situation between her and Lilo, and it just doesn't seem good. Like it doesn't. She's crying, she's upset, and she's like, ever since we had the baby, things just have not been great between us because we just don't have any me time. We had the whole situation with the taxes, and then we had to sublet our apartment, and, that was all on me. And he, basically, I don't think he ever stopped blaming her for that, and she said, I don't know when the last time it was that we went out on a date. She was like, basically, our whole life revolves around who's going to take care of the baby. Like, whose turn is it? Who has to work when? And, it's really affected their life and their time together. And, couples need that. My sister had a baby. I've seen me show my nephew a few times if you go back into some videos. And, I've watched the baby for her so her and her boyfriend could go out, and it's important for them to just have that me time now. To her credit, she doesn't take advantage of it. It's not an all the time thing. But, like birthdays, when it's their birthday type of situation, or when both of them, because they both work in jobs where they don't always get the weekend off. My sister's a chef, and her husband, he works. He just works a job. He don't always get his weekends off. So when they coincide and they end up having weekends off, even with something like that, so it's important. And she said that they're just not gelling, they're not meshing, and she's just really, really afraid that their relationship is in jeopardy. And it seems like it is. Like from the outside looking in, it seems like it's legit, like having some problems. All right, let's go back over to the shop. So they at the shop, sitting around talking, shooting shit, doing what they do, talking about having yet another party. Toki done talked them into doing like a paint party where they do like the glow-in-the-dark type paint or whatever. They were saying something about naked paint. And, of course, Walt is like, hell yeah, I'm here for the naked paint. Let's do it. And while they're talking about this party or whatever, in comes some chick named Signature. Now, first of all, when she came in and introduced her ass as Signature, that should let you know right there that she was on some old fuck shit. Basically, she calls herself being somebody that can help him market his brand. And she was like, so she's talking to Caesar. Miss Kitty's like, excuse me, I'm the brand ambassador. So if you're talking about marketing or expanding the brand, I'm the person you need to see. She's going to totally disregard that and say, well, I'm going to talk to him for now. And sit back down next to Caesar. Now, in Caesar's mind, he like, look, I know this chick walked in here on some old fuck shit. I ain't sitting here about to get this girl none of my attention. I think it's funny. But Kitty's getting pissed off because Kitty is like, first of all, this woman then came in here and disrespected me, and Caesar is letting her. Caesar is letting her disrespect me. Now, I see both sides of the coin because Caesar's thing is she in here talking about that she can brand us and get our merchandise into Amazon, all that. That's shit that he can do himself. He damn sure can do it with VH1. He don't need you. He don't even know you. Like, you walked up off the street and just walked up into the shop. Like, nobody knows who you are. But, of course, Miss Kitty's pissed off because she's feeling disrespected. And she's feeling like, I don't work too damn hard up in this shop for her to just come in here and just disrespect me. And I got a problem with the fact that Caesar does not have my back. So that ended up being a little bit of an issue. All right, so here we go. We having the party. Did she end up putting her out? I'm trying to remember. Did Miss Kitty put her out, or did she voluntarily leave when Miss Kitty left? Anyway, it was a moment. Like, it was clear that, because she talking about her name is Miss Kitty. What that mean? That's what they call the pussy? The girl was a little disrespectful. A lot disrespectful. So it was clear that they wasn't really feeling each other, that they ain't like each other, they wasn't feeling each other. So anyway, we're at the party. Party's fun. Everybody walking, look like the party's fun. They have, they do what they do. They got half-ass naked women with glow-in-the-dark paint on their asses. You know what I mean? So, Dad shows up, because Caesar lets everybody know that he's going to be the new intern and that he's going to be working for Black Ink and he's going to be staying in New York for a while. Come to find out, Sky asked and hopped on the plane and went down to Miami for a business meeting. Caesar's like, a what? Like, this, she left him alone in New York by himself. Baby ain't never been in New York before. Well, I can't say he never been in New York before, but he ain't lived in New York before. And he doesn't know anybody but Sky and the people at the shop. Like, this is not, and he's straight out of high school. Like, he's 18 years old. And Sky, that's why I was getting ready to say something mean, so I'm not gonna say it. But Caesar was like, so the same dude, the same son that we were worried about leaving him in Texas, you're gonna leave him alone in New York by himself. So Caesar was like, look, you're gonna come and sleep on my couch while as long as your mother's out of town. You're gonna come and stay here. So everybody's having a good time, and in walks Donna. Dun, dun, dun. And Donna says, "Sees, me and you need to talk." Caesar was like, "Donna, I ain't got but one thing to say to you. Get the fuck out." So of course Donna was like, "So it's like that?" She was like, "Caesar, you're not even gonna give me enough respect to have a conversation with me." So Caesar like goes off on her. He's like, "Man, you ain't got shit to talk about. You gave me an ultimatum, and I told you what my decision was. You don't work here anymore. Get the fuck out. You don't need." And Kitty was like, so Donna left, of course, and Alex left with Donna, which he should have done. That's his girlfriend. He should have left with her. In that moment, he was right. Caesar mad, talking about something. Why is Alex leaving with her? Because that's his girlfriend. Like, Donna at work. This is a party after hours. Like, you don't have to stay. So Miss Kitty tries to tell Caesar, you were a little harsh. Like, I think she came in here to apologize, which I think she did too. I think Donna realized that she overplayed her card, overplayed her hand, and I think she went in there to apologize. But of course, Caesar, he in his ass. He goes off talking about he tired of people telling him how to run his shop and tired of people trying to tell him who's in charge, he's in charge, and nobody gonna tell him who he can hire and can't fire, and if you don't like it, you can get the fuck out too. And Kitty was like, whoa. Like, where's all that coming from? She was like, all I was trying to do was tell you that I think she was trying to apologize, and you might have went off a little bit too much on her. And so, of course, Kitty's pissed off. Then old girl comes up in the shop, Miss Signature, talking about some, yes, with some Douce, talking about some, yes, I bring top shelf, because that's what it is with me. If you do business with me, then you'll understand what it's like, that you'll be rocking with the best. Like, just bullshit. So she came in at the wrong time because Kitty was already pissed off, right? And then she walked up in there with that same bullshit about how she running shit and she this and she that. You know what I'm saying? She mad. She out on the street, talking to Tatiana, letting them know, look, I ain't gonna let nobody come in here and take my spot. I work too hard for this, blah, blah, blah. So she walks back up in the shop, and she straight starts going at old girl. When I tell you that Miss Kitty was slammed, I mean, she went to go shake her hand, and next thing you know, she was throwing blows. Like, it was, and it took security a second to get there because they ain't see that one coming. You know what I'm saying? Man, it was, and that's where it ended. So we'll see where it picks up next week. But that's where the whole thing ended, y'all. Let me know what y'all think. Peace.